The Outsider, My Life in Intrigue, by Frederick Forsyth, read by Robert Powell. Preface. We all make mistakes, but starting the Third World War would have been rather a large one. To this day I still maintain it was not entirely my fault, but I'm getting ahead of myself. During the course of my life I've barely escaped the wrath of an arms dealer in Hamburg, been strafed by a MiG during the Nigerian Civil War, and landed during a bloody coup in Guinea-Bissau. The Stasi arrested me, the Israelis regaled me, the IRA prompted a quick move from Ireland to England, and a certain attractive Czech secret police agent, well, her actions were a bit more intimate, and that's just for starters. All of that I saw from the inside, but all that time I was, nonetheless, an outsider. To be honest, I never intended to be a writer at all. Long periods of solitude were first a circumstance, then a preference, and finally a necessity. After all, writers are odd creatures, and if they try to make a living at it, even more so. There are reasons for this. The first is that a writer lives half his life inside his own head. In this tiny space, entire worlds are created or erased, and probably both. People come into being, work, love, fight, die, and are replaced. Plots are devised, developed, amended, and come to fruition or are frustrated. It is a completely different world from the one outside the window. In children, daydreaming is rebuked. In a writer, it is indispensable. The result is a need for long periods of peace and quiet, often in complete silence, without even gentle music, and that requires solitude as an absolute necessity, the first of the reasons behind our oddness. When you think about it, with the abolition of lighthouse keepers, writing is the only job that has to be undertaken wholly alone. Other professions afford colleagues. The airline captain has his crew, the actor, the rest of the cast, the soldier his mates, the office worker his colleagues, grouped around the water cooler. Only the writer closes the door, takes the phone off the hook, draws down the blinds, and withdraws into a private world alone. Man is a gregarious beast, and has been since the hunter-gatherers. The hermit is unusual, odd, and sometimes weird. You may occasionally see a writer out on the town, wining, dining, partying, being affable, sociable, even merry. Beware, this is only half of him. The other half is detached, watching, taking notes. That is a second reason for the oddness, the compulsive detachment. Behind his mask, the writer is always watching. He can't help it. He observes, analyzes, takes mental notes, stores nuggets of the talk and behavior around him for later use. Actors do the same for the same reasons, for later use. But the writer has only words to use, more rigorous than the film set or stage, with its colours, movements, gestures, facial expressions, props and music. The absolute need for extensive solitude and the permanent detachment from what Malraux called the human condition explain why a writer can never really enter in. Membership involves self-revelation, conformity and obedience, but a writer must be a loner, and thus always an outsider. As a boy, I was obsessed by aeroplanes, and just wanted to be a pilot. But even then, not one of an aircrew. I wanted to fly single-seaters, which was probably a warning sign had anyone noticed. But no one did. 3 factors contributed to my later appreciation of silence in an increasingly noisy world, and solitude where the modern world demands jostling crowds. For one thing, I was my parents' firstborn and remained an only child, and they are always slightly different. My parents might have had more children, but the war intervened in 1939, and by the time it was over, it was, for my mother, too late. So I grew into little boyhood, largely alone. A boy
Sample complete. Ready to continue?